So nice and simple to start. Like I said, just seated on the block if you've just arrived. If you don't really want the block, if the block doesn't help you, then you can keep it away. But tonight is just like a yin class, so a nice, slow, steady class that we're going to take some time opening up our chest or shoulders, hopefully relieve some tension and prepare us for the solstice when that comes along in a couple of days' time. So we can enter that period sort of free of tension and stress. And see what we want to do with that summer moment. Okay, so just rest your hands on your knees and let your eyes close. So if you're not happy closing your eyes, you can always look down at your feet. If you feel a little bit hunched in your lower back, then it's a good idea to sit on a block so you get the long length through your spine. And just to begin clearing the body, take a big breath in through your nose. And open your mouth and force the exhale out. Do that 2 more times, big breath in. And open your mouth and force the exhale out. Last time, long breath in. Open mouth and exhale, let it all out. Okay, so now breathe in and out through your nose. Breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can continue like that, breathing in for those 5 slow counts. Breathing out 5 slow counts. And as you establish that nice steady rhythm, maybe you can let go of the counts and just breathe intuitively as if you know exactly what 5 counts is. And start to notice the pauses in between the breaths. So use your breathing like an anchor into your body. And like an anchor keeps a boat still, okay, your breath will help you to keep your mind still. And your mind might wander at times, and that's okay. You can kind of watch it go and then bring it back. All the time that you're breathing in this way, you're learning to control your breath. You're letting your body know that everything is okay and it can relax. And like I said, it's giving you that focus for the class. So really establish that nice steady rhythm. And notice if anything changes. And if it doesn't matter, just relax. So hopefully you feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more relaxed. And I want you to change your breathing now. So I want you to make your breathing as little as you can. So the breath in is not even half a second. And the breath out is not even half a second. So you're making the breath so small, so shallow. You'll still get enough oxygen. But I want all your awareness and all your attention to be on just making the breathing as little as possible. So your chest won't expand much, your belly won't expand much, but you will take in enough air. It takes a hell of a lot more concentration. Can you feel yourself drop within even more? And if it doesn't make any sense, don't worry. Just see what you can do. It's like sipping little particles of air. Just a sip. I used to get quite anxious breathing in this way. If that happens to you, see if you can just relax into it. Now take a big breath in. And open mouth exhale, let it go. Just breathing in and out through your nose. How do you feel now? Okay, so keep that one eye on your breathing. And then take the hands behind you, and you're going to hold on to the elbows if you can, or hold on to the forearms. Yeah. Okay, so wherever you are, maybe hands are on the elbows, maybe hands are on the forearms. Squeeze your shoulders back, and then let your right ear fall towards the right shoulder. Now just hold it here. If you don't have to, keep your eyes closed. And breathe. So breathe however felt good for you. Maybe those little short, shallow breaths was good for you, or maybe you prefer those long, deep breaths. Yeah, but wherever you are, see if you can let the left shoulder blade draw down towards the floor. Imagine you got a ruler from your left ear to your left shoulder. We're trying to make that length longer. And it's yin yoga, so we stay here for a little while. Then go of the yangsters in us and finding the yinsters. Seeing if you can relax the bones. Take one more breath. We'll bring the head to the center. Notice the difference. And then let the left ear fall towards the left shoulder. That's it. And again, if you can imagine that ruler and measuring from your right ear to your right shoulder. And with the weight of the head, just trying to make that space bigger or longer. You can visualize all your worries knotted up in the right side of your neck there. And like ice melts in the sun, imagine all those worries melting out of the right side. Be here for one more breath. Right, lifting your head back up. Cool. Nice, release the hands, release the shoulders. Start to circle out your wrists a little bit. And then circle them out the other way. So if you've been doing lots of work on your laptop, this is going to be a good one for you. And we'll take the right hand out in front, turn the palm towards me, and then use your left hand to draw the right fingers back. Squeeze your right shoulder blade down the back. And if you've opened your eyes, maybe you can close them again. Draw into the senses, okay, so how it feels. Maybe you can hear your breathing. Maybe you feel this stretch all the way to the fingertips, maybe all the way up to the shoulder. Maybe you feel it by your big toe. Whole body is connected after all. Yep. Okay, so just releasing the right hand, and then take the left hand forwards, and we're drawing the those left fingers back with the right hand. You're trying to push the palm of the hand out as well by pushing the thumb into the back of the hand. And relaxing that left shoulder blade down the back. And making sure that you're breathing. You can visualize that boat anchored down. And your breath being the anchor. Anchoring your mind into place. Feeling all the sensations down the left arm. Maybe hearing your breathing. So releasing the left hand and shaking out the wrists. If you need to shake out your legs as well, we are going to move in a minute. But you're going to just rest your hands on your knees and then start to create a circle with the rib cage. Okay, so now you're pushing the chest forwards as you go forwards, and then hollowing out the chest as you go back. Okay, so try and make this about the rib cage, pushing forwards and then squeezing back. That's it. And have your eyes closed. And what's the saying? Dance like no one's watching. Okay, so really explore how much movement you can find here around the rib cage, feeling the belly as well and the hips. Then we'll take the circle the other way. And how does that affect your breathing, as you go around in this circle? Okay, so now just coming back to the center, can you try and do this more now with the sitting bones? Okay, so now you're going to tuck your tail under, move around to the side, and then arch your back and go to the back. Yeah, so see if you can now get a little bit of movement through the hips. So if you wanted to come off your block, if that felt a bit easier for you, you could do that. Imagine the shape of your pelvis. It's almost like a bowl shape. So you're trying to feel each of the corners of that bowl. Meanwhile, getting into your hips a little bit. Feeling the sides of your body. And if you imagine the sitting bones pushing down, and from the sitting bones, you're pushing upwards through the spine and rotating. And then we can take the circle the other way. If you can imagine there in your lower back, this serpent lying dormant. And this circling is going to create heat and create energy, wake up that serpent. And it's going to travel all the way up your spine into your head. Good, well done. And just before we finish here, take your right hand onto your right knee, left fingertips behind you. into your twist. If you need to get back up on your block, you can. Breathing in and breathing out, barely drawing back. And then coming back to the center, I'm going to take left hand onto the right knee and right fingertips behind you. That's it, and enjoying that twist there. Breathing in and breathing out. Good, guys, nice. All right, come back to the center. I'm going to lift the knees up, extend the legs out in front. We're going to slide more into yin now. So taking your feet to the back and coming onto your knees. So like you did earlier, maybe holding onto your elbows or holding onto your forearms. It's just a little adapted puppy pose. So you're going to have your hips above your knees and walk your elbows out and then let your forehead rest on the floor. I want you to feel there the stretch through the elbows, the arms, the armpits. And with the forehead resting on the floor, if you wanted to, you could put a block there. See if you can feel the stretch there, all through the armpits, the chest. Okay, and any stress that you've been holding on to. You could imagine again that block of ice, and it's lying there in the sun, melting away. And so any stress, any tension that you don't want to take with you into the next day or into the next part of the year, just let it all melt out. Yeah, melting out of the muscles. And the breath is there to help keep you anchored. Yeah. If you do start to feel tingling going down to your hands, then you might want to come out a little bit. Yeah, but if all is okay, get lost in the rhythm of the breath. So if you haven't got any music playing, make your breathing the music. Feel now the sitting bones pointing upwards towards the sky. And how the spine is almost in the same shape as when you were seated. And now you've got that lovely opening in the upper back. And we're here for 15 more seconds. If you do need to come out, you can come out. If you're all right, just hang there for a little bit longer. That's good. Very carefully start to come back up. So you can bring your hands in and now take an angry cat. So you're going to push away from the floor and bring your chin to your chest. Come back to neutral. We're going to turn our knees to the left side and rest onto the left side of your body, of your legs there. And then you catch hold of a block. And you're going to rest the block, or rest yourself on the block right underneath the armpit. Yeah, so it's kind of wrapping around the shoulder blade there. Yeah. Now it's not too comfortable at first, but you can let your head rest on your shoulder, on the right shoulder there, and you can use your left hand to kind of support you. Yeah. Now, take a moment, get yourself comfortable, and just let yourself relax into this place here. So it's quite a big stretch for me. If it is feeling tight for you, then it's a good idea just to let the weight of your body almost ease it, yeah, almost disperse that tightness. Okay, so we're definitely not in the armpit, we're just underneath the armpit, kind of along the shoulder blade. Now if I let myself fall onto the block, so I let my chest roll towards the floor, then the corner of the block will push into my bicep, into my pec. Okay, and then I can roll all the way back. Yeah. So just see if you can find a tender spot, relax there, breathe. Because if it is tender, then you're going to be inclined to hold your breath, but see if you can let the breath flow and let all of that stress, tension that you've been holding on to maybe all year, just let it ease. About 30 more seconds. Let your eyes close and allow yourself just to drift into this pose. Before we move out of here, roll forwards and back. So exploring all of that side. You're going to feel the corner of the block push into your pec, on that right pec. And then all the way underneath the shoulder, the armpit. Good. I promise it will feel good after. All right, good. Start to bring yourself back up. I'll shake out that shoulder. Oh, that feels better. So we're going to change sides. So you could just turn around, okay? Or like me, go to the other side of the mat and then find the other sticky place. So right below the armpit, kind of just along the shoulder blade. Yeah. And you're letting your head rest onto the left arm. And then you're trying to relax. So if there's sensations there definitely is for me. I know I need a deep tissue massage desperately. So this is a really good one. And if it does feel sticky and tight, okay, that's when the work really starts to happen, and that's with your breathing. So tendency is to try and hold your breath, but try and let the breathing flow. Okay, so possibly if you are feeling tightness here and tension, practice with the breathing. Yeah. Slow and steady, maybe short and shallow is better for you. Then imagine as you move through this next stage in the year, when you come to a moment that's sticky and tight, if you could employ this breathing pattern in that moment, how that moment will flow much easier. So everything you practice on the mat is transferable into your day-to-day. So if you allow yourself to relax into the block, and although you want to hold your breath, you allow yourself to breathe. Everything starts to relax. The situation becomes a bit more bearable. So get lost in the rhythm of your breathing. And if it's not hurting, it's still doing something. Or maybe you could play with it to move around a bit, find where is there somewhere that's a little bit sticky. And then before we move out of here, start to roll forwards. Okay, kind of feel the corner of the block move into the pec. And then roll it back. So you can use that right hand to help you do that. Rolling into the sticky bits, massaging them out. Good. All right, so then using your hands to lift yourself back up. Oh, good. And then shaking out that shoulder. So now from here, we're going to bring ourselves onto our bellies. And create a 90-degree angle with your arm. Okay, so say the left arm first. So you've got your left fingertips above your left elbow. That's it. Good. And then your right hand is flat on the right side of your body. And you're going to push into your right hand, look to your right hand, and then let your right hip peel back on top of your left, and let your head rest on the floor. Okay, so now we normally do this one with the arms straight, but we're going to add a little bit of a challenge here and keep the arm bent. Make sure your palm is flat on the floor. We're going to be here for 2 minutes. Yeah, so as there's a little bit more restriction here, you are getting a little bit more into your pectorals as well. And if you breathe nice and deep, or short and shallow, as long as it's mindful, it's going to help you to relax into the shape. So if you feel inclined to straighten out the arm, then try and avoid it. If you need a block to rest your head on, you can. Let your eyes close and just be here breathing. How does it feel all through your left chest and the pec there, in the shoulder blade? Maybe you even get a stretch in your hip, yeah, with that right foot pressed on the floor behind the left leg. "20 more seconds. Yeah. Keep breathing. Good. Very carefully bringing yourself back onto your belly. And then stretching out that left shoulder. Give it a little circle. Yeah. I hope that feels good, guys. So now let's do the same with the other side. Right hand now in a 90-degree angle. So your elbow is in line with your shoulder, fingers above the elbow. You can rest your head on a block if you want. Use your left hand to push you back. And you might not go so far. This is it's my second good side, this one. So definitely a little bit more tightness in this side. And I'm inclined to stop breathing as I feel the tightness. I'm going to try and keep that nice, long, slow breaths flowing. Imagining the bones relaxing and the muscles just doing their thing. getting lost in the rhythm of your breathing. If you do feel like you need to come out, that's fine. Come out, give it a little shake. Can you visualize your spine here? And from your tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. You could imagine it like a roller coaster ride, a twisted one. Take one more breath. Lovely, guys. Start to lay your belly back onto the mat. Whoa. And then bring that right arm back in. And shake it out. That's it. Okay, so now with your elbows on the floor and your palms flat on the floor, can you push your pubic bone down into the mat? That's going to lift your belly up a little bit. And then draw your shoulder blades down the back and lift your chest up. Good. Now let your eyes close and visualize the spine again here. So from your tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. If it helps, you could imagine yourself in a little carriage traveling up the spine. Pushing down through the elbows to lift the chest up. Again, protecting the arch of your back by pushing the pubic bone down. As you breathe in, can you feel the belly expand into the mat? And as you breathe out, can you draw the belly away from the floor? Yeah, it might not come off the floor, but just that feeling of drawing everything back towards the center. We're going to be here for one more minute, but if you would like to stay like this, then stay like this, or you can just lift your elbows up off the floor. Pubic bone pushing down, so we're not getting a big arch in our lower backs. And it's the chest lifting up. Think crown of the head moving towards the sky. Coming down if you need to. Can you draw the shoulder blades down? And as you get tired, breathe deeper. One more breath. Good, well done. Wherever you are, lower yourself back down. Now rest your head on your hands. And give the hips a little shake side to side. Now, if you have got a block, you can use the block or you can use your pillow. I'm going to place the block underneath your belly now. And you want it to be kind of in between the rib cage and your hip bones. And see if you can make that feel almost comfortable. Pillow is totally fine as well here. But you want whatever it is, the pillow or the block, to be in the squishy bit of the belly, in between your rib cage and your hip bones. So I'm using my phone as a timer. So I'm not sending messages, don't worry. And maybe you can just rest your hands on your head on your hands, like that. And you're going to want to try and hold your breath here. But see if you can relax into the block or the pillow. Okay? Let your eyes close. And as you breathe in, feel the belly expand into the block or the pillow. And as you breathe out, try and relax into it. And if you're really quiet and really still, can you feel a pulsing in your belly? And that pulsing is your life force. Some people don't like this. Okay, so if you find this uncomfortable or brings up something that's not nice for you, then you can just take the block away. But if you can be here, don't worry if you can't feel that pulsing. Sometimes people can't feel it. Strengthen the belly and the diaphragm by breathing deep. Using the block or the pillow as resistance. Okay, but if you can feel the pulsing, relax into that. That's your strength. That's your power. This whole center is your powerhouse. Good. All right, carefully come back up. Good. Roll on to one side. And we'll take the block away. And then coming back onto your belly, bend the right leg in. Reach back and catch hold of your right foot. And then reach back, catch hold of your left foot. Now, don't worry, if you can only do one leg at a time, that's totally fine. So if you've got one leg, put the opposite elbow down onto the floor and then just pull the foot or pull the foot into the hand to lift the chest up. Yeah. Now if you've got 2 feet, squeeze your big toes together and open your knees and then push the feet into the hands and lift your chest up. Yeah, it doesn't need to be big. Make this about feeling the stretch through your shoulders and your chest. Good. Take one more breath, knees open, big toes touching. And then release. Now, if you did one leg, you're going to change legs. Okay, but first of all, stretch it out, forehead down into your hands, and give the hips a little shake. Doing the same thing again, or bending the other leg and reaching back, catching hold of that foot, elbows onto the floor, left hand onto the floor, lift the chest up, push the foot into the hand. You could do this with a strap as well. Or maybe you catch hold of both feet. Now this time, slide your hands to below your ankles. Have your big toes touching, and then try and push your knees down towards the floor as you lift your chest up. So bringing it back to this, the belly expanding into the mat, and the belly drawing back. I always feel like the lady on the front of the boat here. So maybe you can think about that anchor again, the breath anchoring you into any uncomfortable situations or any easeful situations. And then release. Good. So now pop the hands underneath your shoulders. And super careful now, take the hips up and back into your child's pose. So a lovely counter pose to bow pose. Knees together, feet together. Now we can all have a block if you've got one, and place the forehead on the block. And then just rest the hands down by your side. Now I want you to let go of your shoulders. You could always have a rolled up mat here and put it underneath your thighs so that it's between your calves and your thighs if it feels too much to be here in this shape. You could always have your arms out in front as well, as another alternative. If you can, though, arms down by your side and try and relax, try and breathe. The sensations will change the longer you stay in this pose. So you might be holding onto your hips in an attempt to not go too far. But try and relax. The body wants this pose, especially after the bow pose. You could bring your awareness to your sitting bones in this shape. And then to your tailbone and to the spine. Remembering that dormant snake lying at the bottom of your spine. Maybe visualizing that snake, which is energy, it's your power traveling up the spine into your head. And all of that energy, all of that power gathering in the center of the forehead where it's pressing on your block. All that energy traveling to that creative center, which you're going to be able to take with you into this next part of the year. So bringing yourself up to seated, and we're going to stay on the knees if that's good for you. And if it's not, we could always stack up 2 blocks and then sit like that, stack up pillows. But if that's no good for you at all, then just sit cross-legged, okay? Rest your hands on your thighs. Eyes are still closed. Try and push down through your sit bones so that your lower back lifts up, and then take that all the way through your body so that your spine gets longer, your shoulder blades draw down your back more. And then interlace your hands and rest your hands on top of your head. And now, as much as you push down through the sit bones, can you push up through the crown of the head? And feel yourself get taller, feel prouder. And breath flowing in through your nose and traveling down your spine, feeling the sit bones pushing into the block. And as you breathe out, travels back up the spine, up into the head, and the head pushes upwards towards the sky. And with your eyes closed, take your arms out to the side. You're going to draw a circle with your arms. Okay, so both arms will lower down, cross in the middle, and then come all the way up towards the sky. So keep going like that. So a big circle with your arms, crossing at the bottom, continuing with the circle, and then uncrossing at the top. So keep creating this big circle with your arms, eyes closed. As you create this circle, I want you to imagine that the circle is almost a light with an amber colored light, a golden colored light. And the circle that you're creating is with you within it. Okay, so you're creating this circle around yourself. Imagine yourself nestled within this golden circle. You can rest the hands on the thighs and keep imagining this circle that you've created of golden light. Visualize yourself seated within it. As you move into the next part of the year and also into this next stage that we're in this moment, as you start to come into contact with more people, more energies, use this circle to protect yourself from unhelpful energies. It's not that you're blocking them out, because everyone is welcome. You're creating this protective layer for yourself. Imagine this circle, this golden circle, getting bigger. And so big that it circles your whole house. Imagine yourself, and if you live with people, all protected by this golden circle. Maybe this will help some of you as we start to move into the next season, or more importantly, this next stage of this moment that we're in. Remembering you've got this circle that you've created in which you can protect yourself. Now we bring the hands to the heart center, and thumbs push into your chest bone. And we've finished today's practice with an Om. So don't worry if you've not done an Om before, you're in the safety of your own home. It can be as quiet or as loud as you like, but we will just take a breath in, and on the breath out, we'll take the whole exhale to say the word Om. So it might sound a little bit like this, so I'll do it one time and then we'll do it together. So breathing in. Breathing in. All together. Thank you so much for coming this evening. Namaste. Have a beautiful day, evening, and beautiful solstice. What have you decided to do for this next part of the year? So I'm keeping it simple because we don't know what's available, and it's going to be to get in the sea every day. What's going to be your intention? I hope you enjoyed, guys. Let me know if you've got any questions. Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, if you want to put anything in the chat, pop it in the chat. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed.